Time is different nowadays because people are rushed.
There is none for most people. It's in short supply.
I think most people expect everything instant. You go to in regards to planting, specifically, people want to go to the grocery store and pick it up right away. It's ready, but somebody's got to plant it somewhere, and it takes, the average plant takes 70 days. So, but everybody's more rushed nowadays. We grow pretty much any vegetable and most fruits other than citrus in this area. We have broccoli, cabbage, rutabaga, onions, lettuce, beets, carrots, chard, spinach. Asparagus, of course, is coming up. What we're planting now are peppers. Starting to get warmer weather, and we'll plant peppers, tomatoes, beans, squash, corn. I've been growing things since I was a child. We had the family farm, so we were planting from the time we were little children. And then once we got to about my son's age, where you're 10, 11 years old, we were running tractors and equipment. My parents taught me, and their parents taught them, and so on. I'm a 6th generation farming family in Carroll County.
I grew up almost like what this is. Out in the country, you go into Baltimore, they thought you lived in the sticks, which I guess we did at that time.
The process actually starts in the fall. When you clean all the debris off the field, you actually spread manure and you till manure in, so that it can compost and set over the winter. And then in the spring, we till it back up. You actually can check pH of the soil. A lot of times we do plant cover crops where we till that in, the green crops like clover and hairy vetch, to where that actually builds up nutrients in the soil. And then you just, at certain times of the year, depending on what the temperature is and the growing season, that you just plant whatever the proper seed. And like we started in April, planting the cold weather crops, and we'll go all the way through. This plot of ground will be planted 3 times this year. In the beginning, it's making sure that the soil's prepped right, that you have the proper manure content or the pH content. And then what we're doing here, we're spending a lot of time planting, a lot of extra time. But because we're taking the time in the front, laying a good foundation, with soil, prepping the soil, cupping the plants, putting ground cover down. We will actually lay soaker hoses for water conservation, and then we'll straw over top and cage each one. I won't have to do anything else the rest of the season other than check them on a regular basis. As the plants grow, most every plant gets a flower of some kind, and that requires pollination. And bees of all types, birds and bugs, are the pollinators that we have in nature. And honeybees are probably the most prolific pollinators. We have a couple hives here, and they basically will pollinate our garden for us. Growing things lets you see the miracle of life, to where you take a little seed in the ground, you put the seed in, and then it grows up to a big plant, like a tomato plant, for instance. We can take a small seed, and then it comes to the plants about this size to where you transplant them, and these will grow, tomatoes will grow about 3 feet tall and produce a bushel of tomatoes or half a bushel of tomatoes per plant on some varieties. It's just a really unique process. It requires patience because you have to wait for results, but it's neat to watch the process and just to be part of that every day. See how the even the bugs play a part.
All things have a process. We're trying to cut out some of the process, and I think you lose.
You can grow things fast, but if you're growing plants fast, it means you're adding water and fertilizer very fast. So you don't have a very good quality product. Well, it's the same way in our lives. And there again, I go back to the parable of the sower, to where, you know, Christ gave the example of some of the seed fell on rocky soil, but the seed sprouted up fast, but it didn't have any root. It didn't take root, so it died and withered. Whereas if you plant roots, you study the word, or you plant, it's just like planting the plant. You plant the roots, prepare the soil, and you nurture it along the way, you will have a beautiful, beautiful crop. Life is a process. You learn things. God is very patient with us. He plants things in our hearts, plants His word, and He wants that to grow into fruitful results. Most things that are good take time, and good things do come to those who wait with a little effort.